Hi everybody, today we're going to kick back in with a flower painting. I haven't done any flower paintings in a while, but I'm going to go back to my previous technique of the blown flowers, but it's going to have a more of an abstract look. There's going to be some little flowers into this big abstract background. And what's fun about this is when you do these blown flowers, it has an element of surprise because you never quite know what's going to happen. But it's a lot of fun to try, and we're going to do it slightly different today than my previous blown flowers, and we'll see what happens. Today I've got a 24 by 24 board. I have pre-gessoed. It's going to slightly larger scale here, so we're going to be using a lot of paint. You don't want to skimp on paint on this one, so let's get started. First thing I like to do is get a wet white background. This works really well for a lot of techniques. It helps your paint slide around. So I'm going to get some good coverage on this. I have gessoed this board already and it's dry. I always put a couple layers of gesso on my boards, whether it's canvas or board. Now I'm going to push this white around so we have plenty of white surface, wet white surface. This is going to help move this colored paint around once I put this down. There's no real measurement. You just have to go ahead with it. All right, I got some coverage. There's still some thickness there. I've left some depth there of the white. Now for a little visual interest, I'm going to take my sparkly cloud, which is a pearl, and just drizzle some of it around. Just to give the white some additional interest. I'll move it a little with my finger. I don't want to obliterate it. Just move it a little around, a little bit. All right. Now here comes the color. I'm going to do a big puddle pour right in the center, and I'm using Raspberry Shake of my Happy Medium paints. And I will list these colors in the description below if you want to try these same colors. I already have my colors picked out. I'm kind of into the pink pastel look right now. This is Flamingo, one of my favorites. I add some white just to get some more volume in this puddle. Go back to raspberry. Again, there's no measurement here, but I want to make sure that when I move this around, it's going to reach most of the canvas. I'm not going for full coverage here. Let me see what I've got. Just a judgment call. I'm gonna hit it one more time. Now for something slightly different before I blow this out, I have some Princess Purple. Just gonna go around one edge with it. So it'll show some variation then when I blow this out. Okay, now I'm gonna, since this is such a good sized piece here, I'm gonna use my hairdryer to move this around. Okay, you can see what the hairdryer did as well as having plenty of paint. I got a nice soft feathery edge here that's just a nice abstract flower. I'm really liking what I see, so I stopped. Now what I'm going to do is pour a little bit of black into a cup The reason I'm pouring it into a cup, I just want to control the amount as opposed to pouring it straight out of the bottle. And I'm going to make a center to this flower by pouring some black. This is a pretty good size flower, so that's a fair amount of black. Okay. I'm going to take my little drinking straw, and this is, we'll see what happens here. Okay, you can see what happened. It blew it out, and then it starts to creep back in, and this will change over the next few minutes. But you don't want to overdo this. You want to let the paint do its thing. You can see all these great cells coming up. Little black splatters, which are fun. So I'm pretty happy with that as a center of the flower. Now, to kind of help incorporate this black and to define this as a flower a little bit more without overdoing it, I'm going to take my candy apple stick, my little wooden stick that I like to use in a rudimentary way. This is a very primitive tool, but I really like it. I'm just going to slightly define these petals, these as flower petals, just in some places. I don't want to outline the whole thing, but I just want to show the viewer a little bit of an indication that it's a flower. Down here, I like the way this is real soft and feathery. I'm going to leave that alone. Okay, I'm going to define this right here. Again, this is a judgment call. You can stand back and look at your painting and see what you want to do. And also remember, the black tends to sink into the paint. I have quite a bit of volume of paint here, so whatever line you draw is going to get thinner because of the black sinking in. And it's actually kind of cool. So if you're a little heavy-handed, this black will become thinner over the next few minutes, and it'll look a little more delicate. If you notice, I'm zigzagging and being kind of light-handed here. I don't want it to look like an outline too much. Just it's an enhancement. So you're seeking the essence of a flower. We're not defining it exactly as a certain type of flower. It's just the essence. I love the way this center looks. The contrast between the color and the black really makes this happen. Otherwise, it's not nearly as interesting. I also let the color go off the edge on one side. It keeps the flower from being smack in the center. Asymmetry is always more interesting than something that's perfectly symmetrical. So here we have some nice, natural looking petals. We got some color, we got some black for a little bit of punch, a little definition, and we plus have these the nice white edges with the pearl. When this is dry, the pearl will show up a little bit more, and you'll see a little sparkle from the pearl. Right now it looks just like white, but I'm very pleased with this. In just a few minutes, I have a 24 by 24 floral, abstract floral painting. So I hope you'll give it a try. Check out the blown center is really the most fun. If you need supplies, I have all my paint pouring supplies on my Amazon shopping list. And if you want to try Happy Medium paint, the only place you can get it is happymedium.fun. And I will list the colors that I used in the description below, so you can try the same exact flower. And check out my social media links. Join me on Paint Pouring People on Facebook. Post pictures of what you've done. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.